I used to think that Henri Matisse was, you know, a bit too French, frothy, a bit shallow. All the fabrics, decorative, lots of lovely colours, ornamental, a bit slight, not terribly relevant. The languid nudes lying around not doing very much. And I didn't think he had a great deal to tell me about how to paint. How wrong I was. He's the dude. While he called Pablo Picasso the boss, Picasso called him the magician. And rightly so, because he could sculpt with colour. And that is what this workshop is going to be all about. And I'm starting with this book, my sketchbook. Absolutely my favourite book. If you're going to be an artist, you've got to act like one, and you need one of these, and you need to fill it. And this one is full of my life drawings, and you never know when one of these drawings is going to come in useful. And this one here is going to be very useful today, because I am going to sculpt with colour in the manner of very French, very frothy, very shallow Henri Matisse. Okay, we need to familiarise ourselves with the subject, and we do that by drawing. And the great thing about this drawing is I'm going to rub it all out when I've done it. So that means I don't have to worry about making a complete cock-up of it. I'm free to make the marks I want, because I know my drawing is going to disappear. And this also helps you to be less precious about what you're doing. Why ever not? Goodbye, drawing. And now we start again. So now I'm refining my drawing, because I know, having already made mistakes with it, I know where the lines should be going. And what I'm attempting to do here is what Matisse did over and over again in his own work, which is to arrive at the simplest forms I possibly can. And I do that by repeating and repeating the drawing and rubbing it out over and over again. Trying to use fewer and fewer lines as I go. And in the end, my final drawing will just have 3 or 4 lines, and they'll all be wonderful. I want to get a left leg on, but it keeps on coming off the paper leg. Oh dear. So now I think I've got the drawing down to the few marks I want. Let's see. I'm working on now a continuous line. I know where it needs to go. Now I'm ready to transfer my idea to canvas. Okay, now I'm squaring my drawing up, putting a grid on it so that I can transfer it relatively accurately to my canvas. I'm using these golden acrylics. Look, they're so buttery, almost like oil. Look at this one. This is Hansa yellow. Look at this one. This is quinacridone magenta. That is good enough to eat. Face it, it is, isn't it? So this is a thin ground of Hansa yellow. Big brush. Bright yellow so that my colours will pop. And then when I've done this, I can sit back and watch paint dry. So I've squared my board up. I've got my drawing transferred onto it. I should have used charcoal, I think, instead of the pencil, because the transfer was harder to do than I thought. And now I can't remove some of the extraneous lines I've made. Whereas if I'd used charcoal, look, I could have just wipe that off much more easily. So I'm going to mix up my background colour now using white and this phthalo green blue shade. It'll give me a beautiful almost turquoise colour. And most paintings are ruined, in my opinion, because the artist hasn't used enough paint. So you need loads more than you think. Well, actually do it this way. Mix up as much paint as you think you need, and then mix up twice as much as that, and you still won't have enough. And you'll see also that if you buy good quality paint, then you don't need to use so much. You saw how I didn't put very much of the phthalo green in this, and yet I've got a really lovely, strong colour to work with. That's because it is very highly pigmented. So it's a false economy to buy the cheap stuff, folks. Let's mix some more of that up. Big brush. Keep that paint moving. And see how blue the green looks against the yellow. And you can go over the edges, you're not painting by numbers. Work big, work broad. You just want to have some idea of how the finished thing is going to be, and you're not going to do that if you start in the top left corner and track like a snail to the bottom right. You need to work very broadly, very quickly, so you've got the big picture, and you want to keep the big picture in mind all the time. That's good.